It's been said that it takes a community to raise a child. From the miracle of birth until the golden years, there's a community system you can count on. Trinity Health System, a community with centers of excellence. Trinity Heart Center, Orthopedic and Spine Center, Women's Health and Birth Center, and Tony Terramana Cancer Center treat the most complex health issues. A community of rehabilitative services and a spiritual support staff treating the whole person. Trinity's quest to be the best simply puts us above everywhere in the region.
I'm here with Indian Creek football coach Andrew Connor, who has a really big game starting at 7 o'clock, the Route 43 Bowl, playing Edison. Obviously, tough loss Friday night to Bel Air, knocked you guys out of the playoff hunt. Tell me what you talked to the kids about Friday night after the game and then again at Saturday film.
Well, the biggest thing I told them after the game was, it wasn't for lack of effort. I mean, the kids played hard. I mean, it's just one of those games where, at the beginning it was kind of an offensive game. Both teams moved the ball very well. Halftime, a lot of adjustments were made. We played more of a defensive game in the second half, and they made a few more big plays than we were able to make. And I told the kids after the game, obviously we knew that we'd been eliminated from the playoffs. That we have a lot to play for this week. It's our seniors' last game. It'll be senior night. We play our main rival, and the one thing we're going to emphasize the most this week has nothing to do really with Edison. Though I think Edison's had a sensational year, and I have a lot of respect for Coach McKenzie. This is about Indian Creek this week, and how we want to end our season and how we want to send our seniors out.
Have you seen I know you've been around a while just as an assistant and all that. Have you seen one of those games where it was just a pretty much good old-fashioned shootout for 2 quarters and then a good old-fashioned defensive struggle for the last 2?
You don't really see that. I mean, usually if it starts off as an offensive game, it stays that way, or a defensive game. Sometimes you'll see a defensive game maybe shift into an offensive game after the teams kind of feel each other out for a while, but rarely do you see that kind of just stop with the offense that happened really after the half. And like I said, I told our kids that one of the big things you have to remember about a game like that is it's over and done with now. I mean, there's nothing we can do to change what happened in the game. And again, we had our opportunities, and as it's been throughout the season, a lot of times we've shot ourselves in the foot. And again, that's not from effort, that's just from execution or not knowing our assignment at times. And that comes sometimes with a young football team. And with the energy that comes with a young football team, sometimes comes the mistakes of a young football team, and we've suffered through that at times this year.
Now, obviously you got it with Edison coming in. Just by the numbers from what I see, you guys beating them knocks them out of the playoffs. With that has a possibility. It is your senior night, so even though you guys are out of the playoffs, you guys could play spoiler and really not make your rivals very happy.
But again, I told our kids, I know you could take 2 approaches to the game, and we're not going to use that word at all. I'm not even going to say the word to what we could do to Edison. Our thing isn't so much, like I said again, about Edison. And again, that's not taking nothing away from them. And I even teach 2 of the Edison students here at the JVS. But ours is about us. I mean, I think it's more important for us to focus on the way we want to end our season. We've been together since November, and we really stress the idea that we're a family, and to know that this will be the last time we do a Monday practice or a Tuesday practice, and all the way through to Saturday. I think that's what we're going to stress this week. And I told them, if there's any way that we can kind of write our own script for the week, it would be that Sunday they could pick up a newspaper and see, the headline that says, Creek sends seniors out winners, and that's where our emphasis is going to be, to send our senior class out with a win, and that's what we're going to work for this week.
Obviously, you don't play too many Saturday games, this being the only one, unless you go down to Bel Air. How was it different just with the extra day?
Well, this week's kind of a cram week anyhow, because of the fact that we're playing our main rival. We have a sportsmanship banquet on Wednesday, and then we have a little senior thing that we do on Friday. So, basically you just get the extra day. It helps prepare yourself and put your game plan in. It also helps, as beat up as we are, to give our kids one more day to try to get into a whirlpool or get into physical therapy or any of those things to try to help them. So to me, it's a benefit. And the other thing would be, hopefully it would set up a nice crowd for Saturday night, and let both teams kind of send their kids off with a big crowd and a lot of energy for the rivalry.
I'm here with Edison football coach Mike McKenzie, who has rumor has a pretty big game Saturday night, 7 o'clock at Kettlewell Stadium against Route 43 rival Indian Creek. Talk about last week's game first, and I know you beat it into the kids' head last week about Buckeyes not as bad as their record. Buckeyes not as bad. Did you ever have to like go into halftime and go, "I told you so"?
Nah, I think our kids knew. I mean, when we went in, we knew it was going. Our kids bought into it. We talked about it all week, but our kids watch tape. They see it. I mean, the tape doesn't lie. And they saw how well they've been playing the last couple of weeks, and they knew it was going to be a dogfight, and it proved to be that way.
Any anxious moments, kind of?
Oh yeah, down 21-20 after after I'd called the fake punt, and there was a little bit of anxiousness there. They had a couple plays that they'd made there. We're 3rd and 17, and 5 minutes to go in the game, so I'm sure there was a little bit of anxiousness, but it's just a matter of thinking about your next play. There's not a whole lot of time to spend being anxious because I'm worried about what we're going to do next, and during the game, probably not as much as a fan as I would be,
right?
Just because I'm thinking about the next play and things, but definitely we had some anxiousness there.
Talk about your kids, how, being down 21-20, came back, lead 28-21, and then you can say Jostin slipped or whatever, but the bottom line is you guys won a game you had to win.
Yeah, I mean, and you look on tape, we talked about it, we were just watching here a little bit ago. He slipped, but we kind of forced that slip. We had pressure, we reestablished the line. As soon as he took the handoff, there was someone right in his face, and he was trying to make a cut, and even if he made that cut, I think we had people there. I think we had a real good push there, and I don't think that he would have got it even if he wouldn't have slipped. But that's the game of football. There's things like that happen all the time, and we've been on the wrong end of those things many years, and we seem to be on the right end this year. But our kids, part of that, they talk about luck is opportunity, when opportunity and preparation meet, and that seems to be what's happening here.
All right, obviously now take away the records and what's going on Saturday night. You're playing your rival, Indian Creek. They want to beat the death out of you, and you want to beat the death out of them, regardless of what everyone's record is and what's on the line.
Absolutely.
Talk about that being a Week 10 game.
That rivalry game, you can throw the records out the door. There's so much enthusiasm, and the kids are so fired up and emotion, and all the records and everything go out the door because kids are going to play their tails off. So it's going to be a heck of a game. We're excited. It's both of us have winning records right now, and when Coach Connor and I kind of started the idea of the Route 43 Bowl and getting the banquet, and we wanted to increase the rivalry, increase the interest in the game, and I think those things have taken hold. Last year we had a nice crowd out here, and they were playing for the playoffs, so I think it's the rivalry starting to increase, being Week 10 and doing some of those things that we're doing, and we've both been happy with that, with the increased interest in it, and it's just going to be a great game. They're very talented. They've had some injuries and some of those things, but their kids are very, very talented, and it's going to be a great game.
I'm talking about obviously what's on the line, the P word's on the line, and Creek losing to Bel Air kind of, I don't want to say lost a little bit of luster because it's still a rivalry game, but talk about just how you guys as a coaching staff are trying to just kind of stay away from that mindset and just realize we still have a football game
to play. That's it. I mean, we're talking about Creek, and for 3 weeks now, 3 or 4 weeks, the playoff talk has kind of crept in, and we refuse to talk about it. I refuse to look at it. Everyone asks me what position we're in and how many points, and honest to goodness, the only thing I know is what other people tell me. They tell me we're in 7th, and we're close, and this, and I can't worry about that. We got to worry about Creek. If we don't beat Creek, then there is no playoffs, and it was the same week last week if we didn't beat Buckeye. And so I'm just focused on Indian Creek, and I haven't looked at all the scenarios when people talk about who we could be playing. Well, we're playing Indian Creek, and that's the bottom line, and that's all we're talking about. And I think our kids have done a pretty good job of that. I haven't heard them. They haven't been, hey, coach, see this? They haven't been talking that to me. So I don't know, either they're smart enough not to tell me, or, usually you at least hear it. If they're talking about it, you hear it.
Right.
You walk. I haven't heard them talking about it. I think they're pretty focused, and I'm real happy with that focus and their mental approach to that.
Then I'll obviously talk about that. You're playing a Saturday night game, which is a little bit different, but it's you got all the stuff crammed into the week with the seniors and the dinner and the sportsmanship dinner Wednesday night. But obviously, when you guys take the field Saturday night at 7, you'll know your fate for the most part because everyone's going to be everyone's playing Friday night, and you'll know the deal.
And yeah, but I don't care. I mean, I just want to beat Indian Creek. That's the bottom line. We want to beat our rivalries and have those bragging rights, and then we'll worry about week 11 if we're fortunate enough to make that and who that opponent is. But this is your local, this is your backyard, and this is your bragging rights. And these are the guys that we're going to see for the next 356 days,
Right.
Or next 365 days, and they're the ones that we see the most. So we want to beat them. We want our focus to be 100% on them and winning that game. It's going to, like I said, it's going to be a real good battle, and I think every year it's been a good game. And we anticipate another one.